Hello, it is 10 p.m. on July 14, 2020, and welcome to the weather update. And we had some active weather today, so that's why I'm doing a weather update. But it was a beautiful day. It was hot, but beautiful sky. And yes, I did go to some Pine Barrens in my usual place in Deer Park. And it was hot. I'll admit it was hot, but it was beautiful. Um, it was absolutely beautiful. And just a lot of beauty. We did have a few clouds pop up a little later on, and then it got kind of fairly cloudy. Uh, but what was interesting is, uh, first of all, a lot of now that it's warmer, I mean, I saw a lot of butterflies, so we got to see that beautiful tiger swallowtail butterfly right there, and there's the tiger swallowtail butterfly on some butterfly weed, which is no surprise. The butterflies love it. It's not a weed; it's a beautiful flower, actually. It's just the name of it. And during the day, you could see there were some storms popping up in the distance. This was in the afternoon, around 2 o'clock, more like 2:30, and you could see these thunderstorms popping up over Connecticut. You could see them in the distance there, and some of these were severe. And then later on this evening, we also had some thunderstorms pop up over Connecticut and move over. This is what it's looked like around 7:30 this evening, looking east from Mineola. Nice thunderstorm there in the distance, and that is what we're looking at on the radar right here. So I saved the radar. This is not the current radar, but you could see those thunderstorms move over from Connecticut. And it looks like they hit Port Jefferson and then went down through Lake Grove and Coram and down to Patchogue, right down the Route 112 corridor. Um, Looks like they got some showers and thunderstorms. We're going to look at the rainfall and that in a minute. Now, if we refresh this and look at the current radar, you'll see it's mostly died out now. And there wasn't a whole lot of lightning. These storms weren't severe or anything, but they probably did put down some rain. So we're going to look at the current observations right now. Now, temperatures have dropped. We've dropped quite a bit, actually. Some areas have dropped down to the lower middle 70s, lower and middle 70s. Got some lower 70s around. Looks like Levittown's reporting 71. Carl Place is reporting 73. And no sea breeze today. There was no sea breeze. Out east where that storm hit, cooler, no surprise. 70, but the dew point's a little higher at 64. If you look at the dew point in our area, it's probably lower. No, dew point's up to 67. So got a little humid out there, I guess. The dew points were low throughout the day. If we look at the observation, this was, let's look at Farmingdale. For instance, the dew points did get quite warm, though, 88 at Farmingdale. But the dew points, at least in the western part of Long Island, were in the upper 50s and low 60s. If we look further out east, and look at some of the observations out there. We'll look at Shirley here, 74 right now, dew point 64, and they also got up to 88, so quite warm. Nothing in the rain bucket for them. But we will go ahead and look at that right now. We're going to look at the historical observations, and we're going to look at the precipitation and see who got that thunderstorm. As far as who got it, let's see. Whoa, there's a .70 over there. I don't know if that dropped that much. I got to move this back a little bit here. The date's fine. The time, I need to move the time back up. Let's move the time to 5 o'clock here. Or 4 o'clock. Let's see. Got some more numbers. Yeah, so by and large, there was a little sprinkle that dropped, I guess, .05 or .02. It's like one over Brookville, and then another one reading over Levittown, .02. But you can see Babylon got .30, and then if we go over here with that cell that wound up hitting Port Jefferson and Stony Brook, .51 in Stony Brook, so they got about a half an inch. There's a 1.38 reading in Terryville. I don't know if I believe that or not. And then .16, it probably dropped anywhere from a half an inch to a quarter inch. I don't think it dropped that much as far as the rain goes. And everybody else really didn't get much, though. The East End got something. It looks like .26 over there in, looks like Baiting Hollow. And then let's see the East End. I think something brushed at Montauk Point earlier on. So let's take a look now at the high temperatures for the day. You'll see how hot it got today. Temperatures today got up into the upper 80s, and even some 90-degree readings, a couple of 90-degree readings. So it's pretty warm, more or less. The only areas that seemed to be a little cooler was on the East End, whereas in the low to mid 80s, definitely did not at 100 in Northwest Harbor. Can disregard that. And then we'll go back into New York City and get some high temperature readings from here. Why is this not loading? There we go. New York City was, it looks like Central Park. Heh, 84 was the high there. Heh, that's kind of interesting. It was cooler in Central Park than it was. And even Jersey, I don't think Jersey got that hot today. So let's look at Tom's River. Let's see what we got here. I mean, it was just as hot as here, upper 80s to around 90. So yeah, it wasn't that cool of a day. It was pretty hot out there, but somewhat less humid. But I wouldn't calling it a comfortable day and a nice day to walk around was a little bit of a stretch. It was kind of hot out there, unless you like the heat, But I don't. Let's look at the satellite here, and you'll see that upper level low. This low here, see that low swirling around there? That's what caused. There was like a little spoke of energy along it. We'll let that go one more time. You can see the bright whites of the cumulonimbus clouds there. As this low was kind of turning around over there around Boston, eastern New England, off to coastal New England there, and so that touched off some activity. So we will go and look at the models and take a look at the patterns that we're going to be having right now. So we'll start off with the upper air, of course, and you can see there's that trough right there, shows up on the upper air, and that's what brought us the low humidity. But ridging starts building in for tomorrow, and that ridging is going to get stronger by the weekend. And Friday it'll start bringing some humidity and some heat back. I mean, some uncomfortable weather. You can see that ridge there. It's not a huge ridge, but it's enough of a ridge to keep us above normal. There's a trough that tries to bring some relief around the 24th, and then the ridging seems to want to shift. And this is this is very promising, and I hope this verifies by the end of the month. Looks like we have a pattern flip. The ridge goes out west, and we have a trough, which would mean cooler weather. Finally, we could break out of this heat, because July has been above normal so far. Of course, we'll talk about that at the end of the month. I guess we can look at some of the climatology in a little bit. So let's look at the surface now. Let's look at the surface here. I will look at the euro just because we should. There's that ridge again, more or less. It doesn't go as far out. You can see that little trough right there. It shows up at the end of next week. So let's go to the surface. I got to put this back to the GFS, and we'll see what happens here. You'll see at the surface map. So there's that associated low pressure. Tomorrow we shouldn't have any chances for rain. We have that easterly flow, northeasterly flow, so it might be a little bit more humid but cooler for tomorrow and Thursday, and then we start getting to that southwesterly flow by Friday, and then you can see that ridge building, and there you go. There's that ridge, and then we might be cold fronts might try to make it through, but we might be playing with them as playing with stall fronts there. So by the end of the period, look at that. That's a nice flip right there with a nice big high building in by the end of the month. So this isn't really so much about the long range, though. We're going to focus mainly on this week and mainly in our area. So we'll looking at the GFS. Let's back that up to tomorrow. So you'll see tomorrow will be cooler on the island, especially. Temperatures around 80, but still could be near 90 in Jersey. It's going to be a big contrast between coastal areas and inland. So that's probably going to give a good aid in a good sea breeze for us, hopefully, for Wednesday. And Thursday, same deal. A little cooler all over because we'll have some more clouds. And then Friday, it's not going to be that hot, but it's going to be kind of humid ahead of that front. And then the weekend. The weekend looks brutal with a westerly flow and highs around 90, maybe low 90s. Same deal for Sunday. Brutal as well. Brutal Monday, Tuesday. So finally, it looks like the horrible heat is arriving for next week. And we have to deal with a lot of heat before it cools down again. Looks like we'll be dealing with a lot of heat next week, so it's not going to be fun at all. So we could have a very hot period coming up. Let's look at the dew points. All right, because that's that part of the reason why it felt a little more comfortable today is because the dew points were lower. Tomorrow they come up a little bit, but they'll still be comfortable in the low 60s. And we'll still be having, looks like low 60s dew points for Thursday. Then Friday, that's when you start seeing that humidity come up. And that would be our next chance for precipitation, by the way. Saturday, see that dryer tries to get him. You see you got that westerly flow there. That's where we're going to die. But it does look like the dew points come down a little bit. But then we have a deep southwesterly flow here next week, and it goes to west southwest. So it's all going to depend on the vector of if it's more southerly, then it won't be quite as bad on Long Island as far as the heat, but the humidity is going to be terrible nonetheless. And then there's that that weak trough that tries to bring some drier air in, but this looks like stall front syndrome, and we would have to wait until that high really builds in for the end of the month and brings us some nice weather. But that's in the super long range, and we know the way those models are in the that far out. We know the way they are. We'll go ahead and look at the sky cover. So as we go into tomorrow, you'll see there'll be some clouds around. Probably won't be as sunny as today. Might be some more clouds around. And then Thursday, even more clouds. Friday, a good deal of clouds, and that would be the chance of showers with that front. And then, I mean, you're not going to have nice skies with that particular setup. So today was the nice skies. This was it. We might have to wait until, well, maybe Friday. But we would have to wait until like the end of the period until we finally get that relief and that nice dry air in. I can look at the NAM sky cover as well. And again, these are I guess that was the 18Z model. I do have the 0Z model in for the sky cover, so I guess we can use that for tomorrow so you can get an idea. You can see they'll mostly be lower clouds just because of that onshore flow. They're going to be dealing with those lower clouds tomorrow, so I don't think we're going to have mostly sunny skies. This could be wrong, but it seems like it wants to have these lower clouds around, unfortunately. Look at the 12-kilometer NAM, and we would look for our next chance of precipitation. I'll have to use the 18Z run because it goes further out. So tomorrow we're dry. Thursday we are dry. It would not be until Friday. That's our next chance with that front coming through, our next chance of precipitation. I can look at a couple of other sky models, like the RGEM model, and can take a look at that and see if it's any better for tomorrow on this one. No, it just wants to. What it is you got that easterly flow that's going to throw the clouds over us, I think. Maybe we can get rid of them late in the afternoon, maybe, but I'm not counting on it with that onshore flow. At least it looked like some of the other models were a little more encouraging. Now they're kind of backing off a little bit, so it looks like we'll have less clouds around on Thursday, if anything, but I'm not believing that. I think there'll be plenty of clouds around, probably more so on Thursday. Can look at a couple of other models. We can look at the Ventus sky, the clouds, because it says a couple of this uses the HRRR forecast, so which I can't get on Tropical Tidbits. I can't get an HRRR cloud forecast. So this is noon tomorrow. Doesn't look as bad, but you can see those arrows, that easterly flow coming. So it will be more comfortable. It will be cooler and a lot more comfortable with that easterly flow. We can jump along to Thursday, and there'll be a lot more clouds on Thursday. You can also look at the windy.com as well for clouds. I mean, that's going to be the main challenge for tomorrow, how much clouds we get. It will be a lot more cooler and more comfortable, but what sucks is, whoa, what just happened here? It'll be a lot more cooler, and it'll be a lot cooler tomorrow, but unfortunately there's going to be more clouds around, which kind of sucks. Let's look at the noon for tomorrow. Yeah, you can see those clouds, and we can't really get rid of them because of that easterly flow, so maybe we will. Maybe we'll get lucky, but I just don't see it. This, again, uses the Euro. Here's Thursday. Move it along to Thursday, even more clouds, so yeah, today was the day to really get out. I'm glad I did get to the Pines. I would have liked to have gone farther out there, but it was just too damn hot. So that is going to be it for this weather update. And again, I'll take a break for the weather. Consider probably not until Friday I'll have a weather update for you. So hopefully got a chance to enjoy the nice sky at least today, even though it was hot. Take care, everybody.